Another is the use of entomopathogenic fungus. Now, things like Beauveria bassiana and Metatarharzanium anispolate, they're both used as biocontrols. But what most people don't know is that they can also live as free-living soil microorganisms that are stratophytic. They break down organic matter. They cycle nutrients. They can also make endophytic relationships with the plant, protecting them internally from other pathogens and insects. Now, Beauveria bassiana is great because it has so many different modes in which it procreates. It loves to, it loves to operate as an insect pathogen. So it'll basically create an enzyme called chitinase, which degrades the exoskeleton of insects, and then it gets inside of their circulatory system with these spores, and it just consumes them from the inside, causes white muscadine disease. Now, once it sporulates, those spores can actually live in the soil, they can live on the plant, and so again, it's another multifunctional product that helps with nutrient cycling, pathogen suppression, and insect suppression. And so this is another thing that we like to inoculate about once every other week, just as a method of biocontrol. And then the last thing that I really like for the biocrop steering protocol is going to be the cold-pressed Kiaha. Now, I'm sure that some of the listeners are familiar with Kiaha. Jay Plant Speaker popularized it, and Build the Soil did a collaboration with him with a dry formulation. Now, there's some advantages and disadvantages of the cold press versus the dry. The dry has a higher total saponin content, but less biodiversity, and it doesn't have the bioactive compounds, but it does have a longer storage life. The cold press Kiaha contains all of the bioactive compounds, a higher number and diversity of saponins, and it acts as a biostimulant as well.
I got a crazy question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's saponin?
A saponin is an organic soap. So it is a soap, and what this does is it decreases the surface tension of water. So if you have ever seen a mosquito land on water and not sink, it's because there's actual surface tension on that water. What Kiaha does, these natural soaps, is it decreases the surface tension, and that allows for nutrients and minerals to fall into that solution easier, and it also mobilizes those ions and distributes them more evenly throughout your media. A good example of this is if you were to do a nutrient top dress on your soil, the majority of that nutrient is at the very top of that media. When you start watering in things like Kiaha, which is a surfactant, it helps distribute and move those elemental ions throughout that media. Now, the cold pressed Kiaha also contains cytokinin, indole acetic acid, gibberellic acid, salicylic acid, calcium oxalate, amino acids, with 108 total saponins, 52 bioactive saponins. And so you can use this in biocrop steering at 1 to 2 milliliters per gallon of water, just to water frequently every couple of weeks. But you can also use this as an IPM product at 20 milliliters per gallon. And what happens is when you spray the plant with this, any insects that feed on those saponins, what it does is those saponins actually fuse the digestive enzymes together. So it makes it so that the insect's digestive enzymes no longer function. And so they might start feeding, but then they can't digest. So they start becoming lethargic and lazy. Eventually they die off from starvation. But it has an overall net positive effect, and it's great to add into things like sprays when you're doing foliar applications with like Epsom salt, for instance. It just helps with the distribution and total coverage over the plant surface area and through the media.
From the Stash Podcast.